Xavier head coach Sean Miller. Sean, welcome back to the Field of 68 After Dark, man. It's been a while since we had you on here. Has it been since last season?
Yeah, no doubt. Hopefully, I'm sure the ratings will pick up now, and we can kind of send you guys into 2023 in a good way. But no, it's great seeing you, and Happy New Year to you and Jeff.
So obviously you guys knocked off UConn, handed UConn their first loss of the season tonight, 83-73 in front of a raucous crowd at the Cintas Center. It's always nice to see that building loud and going crazy again. Talk to me about that win. Talk to me about Jack Nungy battling through. Was it the flu? I don't even know what it was, but he was very clearly not himself. Just a hell of a win for you guys tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Jack is, he's experienced, he's older. He's just an amazing kid. I really like, as great of a kid as could be a basketball player. That's the definition of Jack Nungy. And Rob, for about 30 minutes before tip-off, he didn't warm up. He wasn't a part of our meetings or shoot around. He was in the training room just kind of laying around and trying to get some fluids in him. He couldn't keep anything down. We were worried that he might not be able to play. And for him to be able to play 24 minutes, I mean, certainly we wouldn't have won if he chose not to play, and that was his choice. So I think it says a lot about Jack. In terms of the game, when you play a team like UConn, you have to be at your best. I mean, they're either gonna bring that out in you or they're gonna beat you. And I thought the reason that our crowd was as raucous as it was, maybe the way we played, it has a lot to do with playing a team that deserves to be number 2 in the country. They're a tall order, and we're thrilled to have beaten them.
Sean, this is a great day because it is New Year's, and you beat Doster's UConn team. I'm out here in Charleston while Rob's back in the cold weather. Like, it couldn't have worked out better. When I saw you in Portland, you didn't know what type of team you had yet with Xavier. How much better do you feel about the group now, and what type of statement? I know we like to get caught up in this stuff a little too much. The statement that you might have made today with beating a top 5 team in UConn.
Well, you're right, Jeff. Look, in fairness to everybody, when there's a coaching change, it takes a little bit of time. And with us, that little bit of time just happened to coincide with a gauntlet of a schedule. I mean, we're talking about playing teams like Indiana at home, Florida, Duke, Gonzaga, all in Portland, and we did all that before Christmas. So, clearly, as we're trying to develop and get to know each other and become a good team, we were also given, a tall order. But I think if you look back at us in Portland, I mean, even though Duke beat us and even though Gonzaga beat us, I think both of those games kind of speak for themselves. They were hard-fought games. We were right there in both of them. And certainly we've grown. We've gotten better. We're more sure of ourselves right now. And I think you see that both individually, like with the individual players on our team, but also like collectively, where somebody like Jerome Hunter can come in the game as a non-starter and really help us. But you're right with what you said.
Sean, Zach Fremantle, it wasn't the easiest start for him this season, but he came on strong. He was the guy that made all the difference early on in this game. I think he had 11 points in about the first 11 minutes. You really took advantage of that matchup at the 4 spot. What have you seen out of him? How have you gotten the best out of him this year?
Well, you're right. I would say this, Rob. Zach has really become our constant. I mean, if you just go through the stat sheet and look in recent games, really starting with the crosstown shootout, maybe West Virginia at home, and then, now our 4 Big East games. I mean, he's right around the double-double virtually every game. As you know, that's not easy to do. I also think that he's getting a little bit better defensively, which helps us because, on offense, it's easier to play 2 bigs, but somehow you have to be able to guard perimeter skilled players when you have that lineup. And I feel like he's in a much better place now than maybe he would have been a month ago doing that.
All right, Sean. So the last 5 New Years have not been probably easy for you, right? You've had something hanging over your head for 5 years. And a year ago, probably even more difficult because you had to deal with me and Dustin. Now you get this win. The NCAA stuff is behind you at this point. No suspension, no nothing. Just explain to me your mindset now as opposed to what it was even as recently as a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was really hard. It just was. There's no getting around that. I try to look at it just kind of like, different chapters, and both in life for me and the family that I have, and being back at Xavier, this is a brand new chapter, and I've learned a lot. There's some things that have really been good that maybe I'm more aware of now, more eager, more excited now than I would have been even 6-7 years ago. So, I'm trying to do the best job that I can as Xavier's new coach. And, look, this is a fan base and a program that has had a ton of success, Jeff. I mean, people don't realize in an 18-year period of time, Xavier went to 16 NCAA tournaments. I mean, that's really hard to do. And they did it through a number of coaches. And I'm just thrilled to be back in this conference. You feel me coaching 4 games in the Big East. It's such an incredible conference to coach in. And I think that's also a part of that, what you're saying. It's a new beginning and a new chapter. And I'm just excited to be a coach and trying to help.
Sean, let's face it, you weren't sure that you would coach these 4 games in the Big East. I mean, we talked about it, and you didn't know what. In fact, you probably thought you might get a suspension, didn't you?
I don't know. Looking back on it, there's a lot. I mean, it's just like 6 years worth of different things. But I think that part's over for me. And, again, when you go through things, you learn, lessons learned. And, I'm trying to incorporate a lot of those lessons into being the new coach here at Xavier and you guys know this, we have a good group of guys. We have an older group. We have a group of guys that have had success. And it's just a matter of us knocking down this door here and hopefully getting them back to the tournament where Xavier's used to be.
All right, Sean, this is going to be the toughest question that I think a media member has ever asked you. If you could spend your New Year's Eve with one member of the Field of 68 and only one member of the Field of 68,
this is so easy.
Who would it be?
I mean, I've actually tried to get him to come to Cincinnati tonight. I don't know if he's en route, but it's definitely John Fanta. He's my favorite, and we had a great time last year. I think he is not a rising star. I think he's actually a star. So,
but hey, the best part of this,
Field of 68.
The best part of this, Duster, he just chose Fanta over his own brother.
Yes, he did,
and he doesn't know it. He doesn't even know it. That's what he just did.
Arch was the UB Brown of the Field of 68. He spit more facts and stats than any person ever has, and that's to his credit. But so hopefully he gets a win here today.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this much: with the way that UConn shot free throws today, I think that you learned a little bit of something from your brother. And his ability to defend the 3-point line. Listen, Sean, congratulations. If UConn was going to take a loss, I'm glad that it was at least to a coach that I like. So enjoy your night, enjoy this win, and hopefully we get you back on soon, man. You guys have a good team there.
Anytime, man. Happy New Year to you guys. Thanks for having me on.
You too, Sean. Happy New Year.